Hello students, welcome to the new lecture session. Myself Shankho Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Automobile Engineering Department at Dr. Sudhir Chandra Sur Degree Engineering College under the JIS group. Today we will continue the engine as a part 3. This is the module number 1 of from engine principles and the fundamentals. And this is taken from the subject of automobile engine. This automobile engine subject, this is the subject of diploma students of third semester in automobile engineering department. So students, before starting the today's class, just recap the previous two parts of the engine. In the first part of the engine, we studied about the engine and study the definition of the engine. Then we classify the engine, and after the classification, we'll learn about the external combustion engine or the EC engine with the definition and the working principle and also application of this external combustion engine. Then after that the second part of this engine is study the IC engine or the internal combustion engine and their classification and the application. And now today in the third part of the engine class, we'll describe the basic engine components and the nomenclature. So student, let's start the today's class on engine as a third part. So here is a cross-sectional view of an engine to show the main components of the engine. So let's first of all identify the various engine components. This one is the camshaft. These two are the camshaft. These are the valve spring. This one is the spark plug. This one is the cam. This is the inlet manifold. And this one is the exhaust manifold. This one is the intake valve. This one is the exhaust valve. So with this, and whole of this section is known as the cylinder head. Then coming to the cylinder block. Here this one is the combustion chamber or the cylinder. This one is the piston. This is the piston pin and this is the connecting rod. This one is the cooling water jacket with the fill of water, and this portion is known as the crankcase. There is the connecting rod, crankshaft. So student, these are the main components of an engine. Now describe elaborately the various components of the engine. First one is the cylinder block. As I told, the engine can divide into three parts. One is cylinder head, then cylinder block, and after that the crankcase. First is described with the cylinder block. The cylinder block is the main supporting structure. Cylinder block is the main supporting structure for the various components. The cylinder of a multi-cylinder engine. The cylinder of a multi-cylinder engine. Multi-cylinder means where the number of cylinders present. Engine are cast as a single unit, and this is called a cylinder block. The cylinder head is mounted. The cylinder head is mounted on the cylinder block. The cylinder head and the cylinder block are provided with the water jacket. Cylinder head and the cylinder blocks are provided with the water jacket. In the case of water cooling, or with the cooling fin in case of the air cooling. The cylinder head gasket is incorporated in between the cylinder block and the cylinder head. The cylinder head is held tight to the cylinder block by a number of bolts or studs. So the cylinder head basically tight with the cylinder block with the help of the bolt and nut and studs. The bottom portion of the cylinder is called crankcase. A cover called crankcase will become a sump for the lubricating oil. A cover called crankcase will become a sump for lubricating oil, which is fastened to a bottom of the crankcase. The inner surface of the cylinder block, the inner surface of the cylinder block, which is machined and finished accurately to the cylindrical shape, is called as the bore or the face. Now coming to the next as the cylinder. As the name implies, it is a cylindrical vessel. As the name implies, it is the cylindrical vessel or space in which the piston makes a reciprocating motion. Piston makes an reciprocating motion. The varying volume created in the cylinder. During the operation of the engine is filled with the working fluid and subjected to different thermodynamic process. The cylinder is supported in the cylinder block. Next is piston. This one is the piston. So it is a cylindrical component. Which is fitted into the cylinder, forming the moving boundary of the combustion system. It fits perfectly into the cylinder, providing a gas-tight space. It perfectly into the cylinder to provide a perfect gas-tight space with the piston ring and the lubricants. It forms the first link in transmitting the gas forces to the output shaft. So this one is the first link which helps to transmit the gas forces to the output shaft. Next is combustion chamber. The space enclosed in the upper part of the cylinder, but the space enclosed the upper part of the cylinder by the cylinder head and the piston top during the combustion process, piston top during the combustion process is called the combustion chamber, is called the combustion chamber. So particularly this thing is the combustion chamber. The combustion of fuel, the combustion of fuel is called the combustion of fuel, and the consequent release of thermal energy, results in the building up of pressure of the cylinder, building up of pressure in this part of the cylinder. Next, inlet manifold. So this one is the inlet manifold. The pipe which connects the intake system, to the inlet valve, of the engine, and through which air or the air fuel mixture is drawn into the cylinder, is called the inlet manifold. Next is the exhaust manifold. The pipe which connect the exhaust system to the exhaust valve of the engine, and through which the products of combustion escape into the atmosphere is called as the exhaust manifold. Next is inlet and the exhaust valve. Valves are commonly mushroom shaped poppet type. They are provided either on the cylinder head or on the side of the cylinder for regulating the discharge, regulating the charge which is coming into the cylinder, and for discharging the products of combustion from the cylinder. So the valves are basically mushroom shaped poppet type. So these are provided either on the cylinder head or the side of the cylinder for regulating the charge which is coming into the cylinder, and that time the valve is known as the inlet valve. And for discharging the products of combustion from the cylinder, which valve is used, that is known as the exhaust valve. So here in the picture, this one is the inlet valve which helps to enter the charge into the cylinder, and this one is the exhaust valve which helps to release the products of the combustion from the cylinder. Next is spark plug. This one is a spark plug. It is a component to initiate the combustion process. It is a component to initiate the combustion process in the spark ignition engines or SI engine, and it is usually located on the cylinder head. So as you can see in this picture, this is the cylinder head and spark plug is fitted on the cylinder head. This is basically used to supply the spark during the combustion, stabilize the spark in the combustion process, and this is known as, and the engine is, which due to the spark plug, the engine is known as the spark ignition engine or the SI engine. Next is connecting rod. It interconnects the piston. Connecting rod, this interconnecting the piston and the crankshaft and transmit the gas force from the piston to the crankshaft. The two ends of the connecting rod is called as small end and the big end. Small end is connected to the piston. Small end is connected to the piston with the help of the gudgeon pin or the piston pin, and the big end is connected to the crankshaft by the help of crank pin. Next is crankshaft. So it covers the reciprocating motion. Of the piston into the useful rotary motion of the output shaft. In the crankshaft of a single cylinder engine, there are a pair of crank arm. And balance weights. The balance weights are provided for the static and the dynamic balance of the rotating system. The crankshaft is enclosed in the crankcase area. Now coming to the next part, that is a piston ring. Piston ring which is fitted into the slot around the piston and provide around the piston to provide a tight seal in between the piston and the cylinder wall to provide a tight seal between the piston and the cylinder wall. Thus, which helps to preventing the leakage of the combustion gases. After the piston ring, next one is the gudgeon pin. Gudgeon pin, it links the small end of the connecting rod and the piston. So the gudgeon pin helps to connect the piston ring. To connect the connecting rod. The piston pin helps to connect the piston, the connecting rod and the piston pin. Here is the piston pin or the gudgeon pin, which helps to tight this connecting rod, small end and the piston. Next one is the camshaft. The camshaft and its associate parts. The camshaft and its associate parts control the opening and closing of two valves. The associate parts are push rod, rocker arm, valve spring and tappets. These shafts also provide the drive to the ignition system. The camshaft is driven by the crankshaft through the timing gear. So here is the camshaft showing a camshaft, a card section view of the camshaft. So the camshaft and its associated parts, the camshaft and its associated parts control the opening and closing of the two valves. The associated parts are basically push rod, rocker arm, valve spring and the tappets. These shafts also provides the drive to the ignition system. The camshaft is driven by the crankshaft through the timing. Next one is cam. Cam, these are made as an integral part of the camshaft. So cams are basically the integral part of the camshaft, and these are designed to open and close these are designed to open the valve at the correct timing and to keep them open for the necessary duration. Next is the flywheel. The net torque imparted to the crankshaft during one complete cycle of operation of the engine and fluctuates, causing a change in the angular velocity of the shaft. In order to achieve a uniform torque, an inertia means in the form of a wheel which is attached to the output shaft, and this wheel is called as a flywheel. So the net torque which is imparted to the crankshaft during the one complete cycle of operation of the engine, this fluctuates, causing a change in the angular velocity of the shaft. So in order to achieve a uniform torque, an inertia means in the form of a wheel is attached to an output shaft, and this wheel is called as the flywheel. Now coming to the basic nomenclature of the engine. First one is the cylinder bore. The nominal inner diameter of the working cylinder. The nominal inner diameter of the working cylinder is called the cylinder bore. And this is a design, and this bore is designated by the letter of small d, and it is usually expressed in the unit of millimeter or mm. So in beside this, the nominal inner diameter of the working cylinder, which is called the cylinder bore. Beside this, the bore is also known as the piston outside diameter of the piston face. Next is piston area. The area of the circle of diameter, the area of a circle of diameter equal to the cylinder bore is called the piston area, which is designed by the letter A and usually expressed in the square centimeter or centimeter. As I told, piston area A is equals to pi by 4 d square. As a this is the formula of the area of a circle. So in this way we can find out the piston area, and the unit should be centimeter square. Centimeter square. Next is stroke. The nominal distance. The nominal distance through which a working piston moves, to successive reversible of its direction of motion is called the stroke, and which is designed by the letter L, and it is expressed in the unit of a millimeter or mm. Moving to the next slide, that is the stroke to bore ratio. Stroke means L and bore means D. Important parameter. This is an important parameter in classifying the size of the engine. L by D ratio is an important parameter. Is an important parameter which is classifying the size of the engine. If D is less than the L, means L is greater than the D, this means L by D is greater than the ratio, or the value of L by D is greater than the 1, then it is called the underscore engine. If D equals to L, or the value of the L by D ratio is 1, then it is called square engine. If D is greater than L, that means the value of L by D ratio is less than 1, then it is called the oversquare engine. An oversquare engine can operate at the higher speed because of large bore and the shorter stroke. So students, an oversquare engine can operate. The oversquare engine is useful just because of its large bore and the short stroke. Next is the dead center. The position of the working piston, and the moving parts which are mechanically connected. The position of the working piston, the position of the working piston and the moving parts which are mechanically connected to it, and the movement when the direction of the piston motion, and the moment when the direction of the piston motion is reversed at either end of the stroke. Is called the dead center. So basically there are the two types of dead center. One is top dead center or TDC. Another is bottom dead center or the BDC. The top dead center. The top dead center is a dead center when the piston is the furthest from the crankshaft, and it is designated as TDS. The full form of TDS is top dead center for the vertical engine, and inner dead center or IDC for the horizontal engine. Next is the bottom dead center or BDC. BDC or bottom dead center is the dead center when the piston is nearest to the crankshaft, and it is designated as BDC in case of vertical engine, and outer dead center or ODC for the horizontal engine. Next is displacement or the swept volume. Yes, the nominal volume swept, the nominal volume swept by the working piston when traveling from one dead center to the other is called the displacement volume. Called the displacement volume, the swept volume. That means when piston moves from TDC to BDC, so particular this volume is called as displacement volume or the swept volume, and it is designated by Vs, and it is expressed in terms of cubic centimeter or cc, and the equation is Vs equals to A into L, where A is the area of the piston and L is the stroke length, and A is denoted by the pi by 4 d square into L, where d is the bore diameter and L is the stroke length. So this is the equation to find out the swept volume. Next is cubic capacity or engine capacity. The displacement volume of a cylinder by the number of the displacement volume of the cylinder multiplied by the number of cylinder is an engine will give the cubic capacity of the or the engine capacity. For an example, if there are the k number of cylinder, then the cubic capacity of the engine capacity is Vs into k, where Vs is the swept volume and k is the number of cylinder. This is the next slide. Here the nominal volume of the combustion chamber, the nominal volume of the combustion chamber above the piston when its top dead center. So particular this volume area of this volume is called as the clearance volume, which is designated as the Vc, just because of the clearance volume, and it is expressed as the cubic centimeter or cc. Now coming to the compression ratio. So it is the ratio of the total cylinder volume. This is the ratio of the total cylinder volume. So total cylinder volume. The total cylinder volume is equals to clearance volume plus swept volume. Clearance volume plus swept volume. So the compression ratio is defined as the ratio of the total cylinder volume when the piston is at the bottom, that center Vt, to the clearance volume Vc. It is designated at the letter R. So the compression ratio R R equals to Vt by Vc, where Vt is the total volume of the combustion chamber and Vc is the clearance volume. Total volume of the combustion chamber means the swept volume plus clearance volume. So then the equation should be looks like 1 plus Vs by Vc. This is the compression ratio. Here we describe the basic components of the engine and the basic nomenclature of the engine. From the next class we describe the working principle of the IC engine. So still then, stay at home and stay safe. Thank you so much, students.